Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to go ahead and share my recipe for imli ki chutney. Now I have here I think it's a 14 ounce, yeah, it's a 14 ounce package of tamarind or imli, and I'm going to go ahead and soak it in some hot water. It's best if you soak it overnight. So I'm gonna add about 2 cups of hot water to this, and I'm gonna leave it for a few hours. So after a few hours, go ahead and break it apart a little bit with the help of a spoon. It is quite soft at this point. So break it apart and cover it. And we're going to go ahead and leave it overnight. If you're in a rush to make this, you can always, put more hot water and try to get the pulp out. But I'm in no rush, so I'm just going to leave it overnight. Next morning, go ahead and put a glove on, and just get your hand in there and squeeze out all that pulp. It is very satisfying to do this by your hand, so go ahead and do that, and then have a bowl or a pot ready with a sieve on top, because we're going to go ahead and strain all the pulp out of it. So here I'm going to go ahead and transfer it to the strainer, and with the help of my hand I'm going to take out as much pulp out of this as possible. Now there's still more pulp to be extracted, so I'm going to go ahead and I transferred it back to the glass container that I soaked it in, and added one more cup of water, additional cup of water. That's warm water. So, and then I'm going to squeeze all that tamarind and try to get more pulp out of that. And we're going to go ahead and do the same process, transfer it to the strainer and strain it and take the pulp out. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the spices, and I'm gonna add one more cup of water in there, because this is gonna cook and thicken. So you can decide how thick or how thin you want the chutney. So I'm gonna add ginger powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and add half a teaspoon of ginger powder. Now this is the spoon that I'm using, the regular teaspoon, not the measuring teaspoon. And to that, I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of red chili powder. 1 teaspoon of zira whole, cumin seed. 1 full teaspoon of red chili flakes. Half a teaspoon of ground cumin or ground zira. And just a little pinch of hing. It's also called saffadida, I believe, but yeah. So, I mean, this is optional. You don't have to put it in if you don't have it. So that goes in. And now we're gonna give that a good mix. So I'm gonna add 1 cup of shakar or jaggery. If you have gur, you can cut that up and add that. So I'm gonna add 1 cup, and then I'm gonna taste it and see if it needs more, because not every imli is the same, and it depends on how sweet or sour you prefer your imli chutney. So now I'm gonna bring that to a boil and let that simmer. Now when it comes to a boil, go ahead and taste it. If you think it needs more chili powder, you can add more chili powder. And I did taste mine, so I'm gonna go ahead and add 1/2 cup of sugar in there. You don't have to. You can add all sugar, you can add all jaggery, you can add half and half. So I'm just gonna add some sugar in there. So 1/2 cup of sugar. I let it cook for a few more minutes and then tasted it again, and I still think, or I still thought it was still a little sour. So I went ahead and added 1/2 cup more of sugar, and now I'm gonna go ahead and let it cook for about 20 minutes on medium flame. So after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, this is what it looks like. You can simmer it more if you want a thicker chutney, or I'm gonna leave it at this right now, because once it cools down, it will thicken up a little bit more. So this is how I like it. And if you want it thicker, continue to cook it for a little bit more. If you want it thinner, add water, and it's up to you. So at this point it's done, and I'm gonna taste it one more time. It's perfect for me. Oh, by the way, I added 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of jaggery, so that's 2 cups. I still think it needs a little bit more sugar in there, but I'm gonna leave it at that. So once you see these bubbles kind of forming on top, that's enough cooking for me, and that it's gonna thicken up more. So I'm just gonna turn this heat off, and I'm gonna let it cool down before I transfer it to another container. So it's been a couple of hours now, and it's been cooling. So as you can see, it has gotten quite thick, and it's still a little warm. So here I have a glass jar that I washed and dried. Make sure it's not wet or there's no water in there. Go ahead and transfer it to whatever type of jar you prefer. Let it cool completely, and then refrigerate it. It does last a month or so, but you make a smaller batch if you're not gonna consume it right away. Or some people like to freeze it too, and you can definitely freeze it and enjoy it on your samosas and chaats and whatever you like to have it with all throughout the month of Ramzan. So there you go, it's completely ready, and it is really, really good. I mean, there's no point buying imli chutney if you can make it at home. I made 2 batches, so these are gonna go to my friends. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so, please like, share, and subscribe, and see you again with another very simple and easy recipe.